For this Dark Monday, I'm going to be reading from my latest book called The Book of Snow. I've written 4 books, but with this book, I really wanted to do something very different. I wanted to write a book that was just focused on one image. And the image I chose was snow, because we all know snow, and it's something that we all find, even as we grow older, we still find it magical and transforming. It transforms the ordinary and makes it extraordinary. So every poem in the book is linked to that one image of snow, and it's a story of love in the book, done through the metaphor of snow. And the other thing I wanted to do was to work with an artist to sort of transform text and image and use it differently. Maybe to bring in people who don't always find poetry accessible or engaging or even think of it. So I worked with an artist called Jessica Palmer, who's a paper artist. She does paper cuts and collages and collagraphs, which is where you indent the paper. And she interpreted the poems through these wonderful graphic images. And so the book it's, I hope, a thing of surprise and beauty. Every page is different. Sometimes the text is more important, sometimes the visual, but it's a book that intrigues by its look and by its word. And the other thing I'm doing for the Monday evening, which I'm really thrilled about, is I'm going to be working with a musician, with this fantastic young cellist. And she's going to be doing 2 things really. She's going to be interpreting the poems in mood and in space with different cello pieces, but also having a sort of dialogue with me as I read the poems. So the cello will answer the voice. And I think it will make for an hour of sort of reflection and difference. And also the music will help the words and the words will counterpoint the music. This is called Snowcoat, and it's a poem from the middle of the book. And I dreamt this poem. Sometimes poems just come that way, you wake up and they're there. And I imagined the lover who's left coming to collect all his belongings, and he's wearing a coat which grows bigger and bigger and bigger in the course of the poem. This is Snowcoat. You're standing at my door in a long coat of snow, which you drag in silence from room to room. Point with a freezing glove at each of your belongings, then bump them in a sack behind your trailing coat. As you go up the stairs to the bedroom, the bathroom, then back through the living room. The last thing you point at is the kettle on the sideboard, which you chuck in the sack on top of the duvet, the velvet upholstered chair, adding from the garden an apple tree, 2 pot plants, the leaded panes from the corner summer house. Then I watch your snowcoat move down the drive till it turns the corner. It's as big as the garden now, covers everything I see. So I wonder how you'll fit it in inside the car, how you'll see out of your rear window with all that piled in whiteness, the coat, the sack, all those frozen, useless things. I like the challenge of bringing people to poetry. I mean, I really like reading my work, and I think very carefully about how I present the work and how I make it accessible and engaging. I think lots of people fear poetry because they think they're not going to understand it, but actually poetry is everywhere. It's the most innate and natural thing. It's in football chants, it's in birthday cards, it's in loves, it's in songs. It's just we don't always give it that label, poetry. And actually I'm quite often asked for poems for weddings or funerals. We go to poetry when we want something that's essential, and I think that is what it brings. So bringing poetry to theatre for me is a real plus, but also it's fantastic to be able to try out new drama, try out new writing, try out new monologues, because you can do it in a professional setup, but in an experimental environment too. So great.